Hey everyone, welcome to another installment of the Film Pundits. Today we are going to review the Season 2 premiere of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Which, is a show that I stopped watching last season. So thankfully Hector's here because he is the guy who watches things, so you don't have
every
to.
episode so you don't have to.
By the way, my name is Adam Havoc, and this is, of course, Hector Navarro, our resident Marvel DC extraordinaire.
Really? Oh, thanks, man. It's still it's still my birthday.
It is your birthday
right now,
still, as we're recording this.
For my birthday, I'm going to review Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. with my buddy Adam. Season 2 premiere. So yes, what do you want? A quick recap of Season 1?
Give us a little bit of a recap. What happened in Season 1? Kind of the general story, since I have no clue what happened.
I'll try and remember. Listen, a lot of it was kind of bland, and it kind of bled together a little bit. Was it like 22 episodes or 18 episodes? Like a lot of episodes.
I think it was 22 episodes.
22. Yikes, that's a lot. But this is basically what happened. Phil Coulson shows up. He's alive. From the Avengers. He's alive. He came back to life. And we don't know how at first. But he puts together a team that gets clearance level 7 or something, a small team of S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, and they recruit a hacker named Skye, who is just a human civilian. And then by the end of the Season 1, we're supposed to be told that she's like being taught how to be an agent to make her kind of less useless. Along with that useless character were two like science nerds that weren't ready for the field, which were Fitz and Simmons, agents Fitz and Simmons, Scottish and British and lovely accents, both of them, attractive loveliness. But they were also like not fit for the field. So it basically came down to Coulson, Melinda May, played by Ming-Na, and she's fantastic, Mulan, and she was like a very steely, cold like character, and then Agent Ward, who was like the badass. So basically, they do a bunch of like BS missions. That's Monster of the Week. It's picking up MacGuffins here and there. Halfway through the season, and Marvel knew this was going to happen because when they were developing the show, Marvel was already had filmed Captain America: The Winter Soldier, had already planned out what was going to happen, and Kevin Feige had that plan to disband S.H.I.E.L.D. and to put it in that movie like years and years prior. So they show the makers of the movie, the makers of the TV show, they're like, cool, you guys can do your show, but just a heads up, this is going to happen. And so they showed them like an early cut of the movie, and they're like, okay, great, we got to change our plans entirely. So halfway through the season, after Captain America: The Winter Soldier came out, maybe not even halfway through the season, but like 3/4 of the way, S.H.I.E.L.D. is now disbanded, and we are supposed to believe that S.H.I.E.L.D. has been infiltrated by Hydra members. And at every level. So one of the characters, Agent Ward, was revealed to be a Hydra traitor. Bill Paxton came on the show also as like a peer of Agent Coulson's, and he ended up being Hydra as well. So a couple of Hydra characters really helped to kind of give the show a direction and a purpose. And then by the end of the show, the end of the season, which had another Nick Fury cameo, which was awesome. But Nick Fury, the way he appeared at the end of Cap, where he's got the glasses instead of the eye patch and like the hoodie, is real cool. And he had one cameo like earlier in the season too, and he's probably like the major cameo. Kobe Smulders was in a few episodes, which was great. But that's where they left, is that S.H.I.E.L.D. was completely disbanded because Nick Fury faked his own death and went into hiding. He somehow gave Agent Coulson the directorship of S.H.I.E.L.D. He was like, you're the new director of S.H.I.E.L.D. But with your nothing resources, and you guys are on the run, basically, like the government is after S.H.I.E.L.D. because of what happened in Winter Soldier. Like, they need to account for their mistakes or whatever. So they're like fugitive and on the run, and one of their characters almost dies, like, trying to save the girl character. Simmons almost dies trying to save Fitz. Fitz almost dies trying to save Simmons. And Ward, like I said, he's revealed to be a Hydra traitor, but then, like, he was a little bit like, oh, maybe I don't want to be Hydra. Like, we kind of saw coming a little bit. I don't know. That's basically it. Oh, and then also we found out that Coulson was brought back to life. I'll just summarize that for you real quick. Because Nick Fury just wanted him to not be dead. So Nick Fury pulled out all the stops and experimented on him, experimented on his brain, like did like neurosurgery on his dead body, and then also gave him a formula or blood or something that came from a dead body, half of a body, like blown apart, of a blue humanoid character, a blue humanoid male that was in like a deep bunker. And when that appeared, and Coulson eventually found it and opened this up and saw this formula that was this blood coming from this creature, this alien, this whatever, and started to freak out like, oh, this thing helped me bring myself back to life. Fans were already saying, is that a Kree? Is that a member of the Kree alien species? Wasn't until months later Guardians of the Galaxy comes out. Who's the main villain in that? Ronan the Accuser. Of what? Of the Kree race. So they were probably already planting seeds. It looks like the Kree has already visited Earth, which is fine. Like, it was cool. It was cool. I think it's the Kree. I think we all think it's the Kree. So they really haven't delved too much into that. But here we are, episode 1. You saw it. I saw it. They hit the ground running. I freaking really liked it, especially after Gotham, which was a bit of a disappointment for me. I haven't seen the pilot for Flash. I haven't seen the pilot for Constantine. So I'm 2 right now. This is 2 of the comic book season. And I was like, holy crap, this is much improved. I would say that the season premiere episode 1 of season 2 is their best episode out of everything Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. thus far. They listened to the fans. They knew what their mistakes were in season 1. So season 2, episode 1, what'd you think?
Surprisingly, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, right?
Yeah,
super watchable.
I only got, I think, to about episode 6 of season 1, and it just didn't do it for me. I had to drop it off. I was just like, no, I can't follow this. It was too hard to follow because I just wasn't invested in anybody. But it was cool to come back into it and to see kind of how the events of Captain America, the Winter Soldier, affected the show. And I think you're right. And I think a lot has to do with the show didn't know what the hell it was about.
Yeah.
It had no idea. It was just riding on the coattails of success of the Avengers.
Yeah.
And because of the fan demand for Agent Coulson to not be dead.
No direction.
Yeah,
the direction
no
was like,
direction.
oh, every week we're just going to go on a fun mission somewhere in the world, pick up an item. I don't know, maybe Marvel reference here, maybe Marvel reference there, maybe with this bad guy. And it was like, well, what's the
Absolutely.
what's
and
the
I
point?
think now with the events of the Winter Soldier, the show finally has a starting point. And it's like, okay, S.H.I.E.L.D. is in a totally screwed up place. It's disbanded.
And they got to rebuild.
We're being hunted.
Yeah.
We need to rebuild. And the one thing that I'm curious is if Nick Fury is no longer in the picture and he's handed the reins over to Agent Coulson, do the Avengers know? Are the Avengers aware? Are they aware?
Coulson's alive?
Yeah.
No. As far as we know, no. Because end of season 1, I think the last episode or the second to last episode, which was also a pretty entertaining damn episode. They wrapped up some stuff. Coulson said to Nick Fury, he said to Colby Smulders, to Agent Maria Hill, I think Coulson said to her, he's like, hey, tell Tony Stark I said hi. Oh, wait. He thinks I'm dead. Damn it. Like something like that. Like a little joke in his sort of humor, But no, I think that to continue the cover, and I don't even know why they would need to keep it up, but the Avengers characters still think he's dead. Okay. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's because Nick Fury doesn't want to piss off Thor. Thor was pretty mad when Coulson got stabbed. And he kind of knew Son of Cole. He knew him a little bit. He worked with him. He's a friend, right? And then dude got stabbed and he was like, no, on the window. So if Fury was like, hey, guess what? Thor,
Coulson lives.
I brought your homie back to life. Coulson lives. He's a little messed up. I experimented on his brain. He would probably be like, you are an asshole. Like, I don't know. So as far as we know, no one knows that he's alive. And it's kind of a bummer because that death still hits me hard when I watch the Avengers when Coulson dies. It's a great scene. It's great. It is a little bit impeded by the fact that it's like, all right, I know he comes back kind of in the show, kind of. But, and we all love Coulson. I love Clark Gregg. Nobody doesn't love Coulson. Yeah. But my thing was I kind of wanted this to happen at the end of season 1. It didn't. I still think it could. At the end of season 2, I would like for them to do this. I want Coulson to die again. I want him to have a heroic death. I want him to sacrifice himself willingly this time, and then I want him to not come back. And then even if the Avengers find out later in a movie that, like, wait, he came back for a little bit, it's like, well, he died again. Like, he's gone. Like, he's not coming back. That death is still meaningful. Like, all of that junk, to kind of wrap it up. I don't know. Yeah. Because at this point, to me, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is not vital enough that I'm like, I'm going to buy the season on DVD. I'm not like, hey, man, if you're trying to watch Marvel movies, you got to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah,
no,
it's a side story.
Completely optional. It's completely optional.
Right.
So because of that, it's optional, kill them off. It's fine. And it'll almost be like the whole thing never happened. The show right now, though, is super watchable, super entertaining, and it's fun.
Yeah, I really liked it. It was cool to see, kind of just jump in. You literally get thrown in the middle of this whole scenario. You
First of all,
no idea who
it opens with the smartest thing they could have done. I'm talking World War II flashback. I'm talking Haley Atwell,
and
Agent Peggy Carter, and a few of the Howling Commandos, Dum Dum Dugan, and the Asian actor. I forget the character's name. I forget him, but they busted in. And I was like, this is awesome. This is great.
Yeah,
and they had great.
We knew it was coming because they had teased it, but
sure. It's still
so
great.
Awesome to see
because
Haley Atwell
and it was like well shot, and it was like
it felt like First Avenger.
It felt like the Captain America movie exactly, and they had the great actors doing their German accents, like where's the relic? Did you find the what was the thing that they called whatever the obelisk? We have found the obelisk. We are going to take it now to. Oh no, here they come! Like it's the best. I love that shit. Yeah. It's the best. Peggy Carter, beautiful as always. I love Haley. She's great. I'm getting distracted. So automatically I'm like, oh, this is a great episode. And it got me excited for Agent Carter, the show.
Totally.
And it made me love that episode.
Forced.
It did not.
It felt like it was integrated for a reason, not just because Agent Carter is going to get her show, but because it was a nice way to kind of integrate the past and the future and to kind of see how certain things respond.
What's going to happen? Right.
Totally.
Right. So then we get to but now it drops us right in the action. right after that, you got the S.H.I.E.L.D. team, and they're like doing a mission, and Skye's like well trained, so you're like, oh, cool, she's not like useless and like like I don't know what I'm doing, I'm just a hacker. Like she's killing it. Like it was great, and they had a bunch of new characters, including Lucy Lawless and her like whole team of guys that are kind of mercenaries, but not like they're there for the money, but not like. And still, they introduced a bunch of characters, but they didn't like cheesily introduce a bunch of characters. It just hit the ground running.
Again, it didn't feel forced. It was just like, hey, these are the characters. This is what they're here for. Let's go. Let's
and they were funny, but not in a cheesy way.
Yeah.
In the way that some of the humor didn't work all the way in the first season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Some of these guys with the British accents are like, you know why I'm here, love? I just love the money and whatever. And it was like fine, and it worked.
Yeah.
You know, and the characters, you kind of believe them.
It
felt lived in, and it was honest, and it felt lived. The whole world felt more lived in. The world, they're being chased by the government, by General Glenn Talbot, played by Adrian Pasdar. He did a great job. He's a huge douchebag, but then like he's with his family, and you're like, oh, like okay,
you feel for him.
You feel for him. You know, he gets kidnapped, and they cut to him waking up, and like you feel for him. He's great. But yeah, so he's kind of like the looming threat, but that S.H.I.E.L.D. wanted to work with him. Like that was cool, but. The whole world just feels more lived in, and it feels like these groups of people, they feel like the remnants of a global organization.
Yeah.
Season 1, it did not feel like that, and they were supposed to have a global organization at their disposal for like resources
like a shady
and stuff.
underground organization.
Yeah, in the first season, it felt like a TV show because it's like, here's your cast of 6 people running around having adventures, and it's like, wait, you mean to tell me that these people could go to like the helicarrier, or they could do this, and they could, it didn't feel like a procedural show.
Yeah.
In Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is like if you watch like The West Wing or like ER with all the doctors constantly coming and going, and like, or like a cop show. It's like maybe characters come and then they die, or they get transferred, or they, that's what S.H.I.E.L.D. should feel like. Like a big world organization.
Totally.
So this first episode, it felt more like that, which is great.
And it's kind of funny that it does feel that way, even though they're on the run. They're underground now. Like they're running from the government.
It's crazy.
You're like, it feels more integrated into a bigger picture now.
I liked what they did with Agent Fitz, where he was messed up and losing memory and wasn't able to do his job and was talking to himself and was clicking his fingers and was talking to Simmons at the beginning of the episode. And then at the end of the episode, they reveal, and maybe we probably should have said this at the beginning. I mean, spoiler alert, we're talking about the show in pretty heavy detail. But at the end, they revealed that, like, she's not even around and he's been talking to himself the whole time. He's just a very broken individual. And for a guy who was, like, very happy-go-lucky in the first season, and then until the moment where this new character showed up and Simmons started to crush on him, and then he got all, like, mad and angry and, like, tried to be macho and, like, just got real butthurt. It's a nice change of pace to have a guy who played a happy-go-lucky character, comedic relief, very well, to just play him broken. And he was, like we were saying, he's interesting. And I'm like, I want to know what's going to happen with this poor guy.
I'm
like,
interested, like, how his wiring in his mind works now.
Yes, exactly. So that's cool. I like that little seed that they planted.
Which is funny because, when I watched the first few episodes of the first season, I didn't really care for Fitz and Simmons. To me, they were just characters that were in there for just comedic relief.
Exactly.
But now in this first episode, they've kind of really redefined
they're dynamic, and they're dynamic.
Of the character, and I'm like, wow, I'm really interested in seeing. Now it almost makes me want to go back and find out what happened.
What happened in that? What happened at the end of season 1 to get to how did he he's like drowned and did he get messed up? And it's really, really interesting. They were originally just like comedic cues, like from James Bond, and now they're like, there's something different there.
Yeah.
So another character that underwent a huge change, even from between the seasons, was Agent Ward. The good-looking guy who was revealed to be Hydra at the end of season 1. And like I said, they left him off season 1 where it's like, I'm a bad guy, but I don't want to be a bad guy. So you're like rolling your eyes and you're like, cool. All of season 2 is going to be this bullshit, going back and forth. No.
Yeah.
Beginning of season 2, he's already in a prison cell and he's messed up and he's like tried to kill himself multiple times. Yeah. Suicidal. Constant suicide attempts. And he's like fixated on Skye and he just wanted to talk to her and he's messed up.
And the interrogation or the dialogue that they have,
really good.
He sells it in a way that it comes off. You feel sympathetic, but there's something so incredibly creepy about it.
Yes, dude.
Where you're like, wow, like I feel so bad for this guy. He's been brainwashed. He's a Hydra guy. All this kind of stuff. But yet he's also been lying to the team. Yeah,
this
and he's
whole
been
time.
obsessing over this girl, which is just like
it's really interesting. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
We all love
she
a good.
Plays it. She actually played off of him pretty well.
She did.
Yeah,
she did.
Good job.
Awesome. So I really dug the Absorbing Man.
Visual effects, like we were saying,
pretty cool,
really
dude.
Well.
Pretty cool. It took me about like halfway through the episode that I was like, oh my god, wait, like that's Crusher Creel, that's the Absorbing Man. This is awesome. And they explained that they didn't know how he got his powers, but he's always sort of had them. Yeah. He's a guy that can absorb properties and use them, and like some of it was a bit cheesy TV style, but yeah. So my thinking was, when I'm watching it, I'm like, I really love the Absorbing Man. He's a great comic book villain. I'm kind of bummed that we'll never get to see him in a big budget movie. I think he's mostly tied to a character like Thor. He would be a great opening scene for like Thor 3. You know, in a movie, Chris Hemsworth comes down to Earth as Thor, has to fight this guy who gets powers from Loki. Loki gives this character powers, Crusher Creel, this wrestler, boxer guy, just to fuck with Thor. That's why he gives this guy enchanted powers, where he can absorb stuff. And, you know, it's a great comic book origin. It's the lamest thing ever.
Yeah.
And it kind of bums me out that we never get to see that on a grand scale. And as I was thinking this, I'm watching the show, and I'm like, okay, I'm so bummed out. And then he starts doing awesome stuff. And then, like, he drops to the ground, and he turns into car, and a car flips over. And I'm like, this is kind of freaking awesome.
It
like,
was
it's
done
great.
well. Like, they did a really good job. Yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
man.
I'm sure most of their budget went to that, but
probably
it was worth it.
It was
well worth it because it definitely again, it resets the tone of the show. It's like, this is serious.
Yeah.
You know, we took a lot of the criticisms that the fans had, and we're going to try to reinvigorate this show and make it what it should have been.
What's funny is that this episode featured the characters of the Absorbing Man, and it also featured Glenn Talbot. And the last time those two characters were in a movie or a live-action project together was Ang Lee's The Hulk movie. I was going to say Ang Lee's The Incredible Hulk. No. Ang Lee's movie called Hulk came out in 2003, 11 years ago. Ang Lee's Hulk movie, which I still like. It's a weird movie to watch, man. It's weird. It's so funny because it's like it does so many things so right. Anyway, I can talk about Ang Lee's Hulk all day. But yeah, I was like, okay, Absorbing Man technically, and Glenn Talbot. That's pretty cool. I really liked this little funny, genuine comedic moment at the gate when a character's trying to sneak in, and they had Agent Coulson, Director Coulson now, like do that like that spy movie trick where like he disguises his voice as another character, as Glenn Talbot's character, and then calls on the phone like, "Soldier, you got to let him through the gate." Blah 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 blah. It's a great little funny moment. It was genuinely funny. I forgot what he said. There was some funny stuff in there. He tried to throw in a little bit of those Southern euphemisms in there, you know, and he like took it too far. And then of course I have to mention the incredible Patton Oswalt. So glad he's on the show.
Yeah.
So funny. Everything he does is so funny. He sells it so well. And he's there sitting there telling Coulson, like, no, too far. Because he was like, go bigger, go bigger. No, too big, too big. So funny. And his character is just a joy because he's passionate. He's, like, stoked to meet everybody. Like, just a great character.
See,
I really liked him.
To me, that was the one scene in the episode I did.
Koenig.
I didn't
I
like.
loved it. Get out of here. It was funny. It was great.
To me, it was like, if you know the
you gotta have some,
so well.
I know. But you got to have some levity. You got to have, you know.
But see, I would have bought it if Patton Oswalt was the one doing the voice. If he would have done it, then I would be like, he doesn't know the character.
Coulson is
Coulson
still has that dry humor, though. I know.
I
point all the listen, dude. I point all the way back to 2008's Iron Man, where you know he's like, Miss Potts, do you have a moment? You know, and just like, ooh, what are you doing with that little door thing? What are you doing? And just stand back, like his humor, it's there, you know, like. The strategic hazard, just call a S.H.I.E.L.D. You know, walks away like, we need to debrief you. Like he's got that dry sense of humor. So I get what you're saying, but it's like you got to have that because the rest of the episode was pretty damn intense, and it didn't kind of give me a second to breathe. You know, there was not like funny moments. Even the funny characters is a broken guy now. You know, like we were saying. So it's fine. But all right, I get what you're saying. Lucy Lawless. Let's talk about Lucy Lawless.
Xena, the warrior princess.
She brought it, dude. She was great.
That's the one thing that I also liked about this episode was those characters, those secondary. They were secondary characters, but
they're like compelling.
They were integrated so well that you were like, damn. Okay. I told if the show was about them, I'd watch it.
They're in it. They're in it.
You know, and like like she really delivered.
So
like
I don't know how many episodes Lucy Lawless is going to be in, but she was in it, and she was just kind of like there, and I'm like, okay, like she's just there. She's not really doing anything super special. And then at the end of the episode, she grabs that weapon and she gets all messed up. She's in the car and she's crying and she's telling the guy, "Cut my hand off.
It's gonna kill me. You gotta cut my arm off."
It's gonna kill me. I can feel it. And her eyes are full of water. And they did it. And I'm like, holy shit, they did it in the first episode.
Arm off, and I'm like,
and she brought it acting wise.
Yeah,
she killed it.
Great
she
job.
killed it.
Really
so good job, Lucy. Well done. So overall, I like the episode because it's kind of felt like the team failed.
Yeah.
The whole point of the thing was that they just wanted to grab a little Quinjet because they don't have the bus anymore. It's what they called the first jet from the first season, right? Yeah. So they grabbed a Quinjet, but it just felt real sour and dour and sad and just like, like such a bummer, you know? But I like it. And the fact that the character of Simmons is not even around other than just being in Fitz's head, I want to know, like, where did she go? What happened to her?
Yeah.
Why did she leave? Was it too hard for her to be, like, all that stuff is interesting at least, you know? It's compelling.
Yeah.
And lastly, that last little twist at the end that they brought back the original, like, Nazi character from the flashback. So right there, it's like, boom, the character's name, I think, was Whitehall, the German guy who's like the, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
The Red Skull is dead. Like, it's awesome. So I love that shit. I want to see more characters in the Marvel Cinematic Universe that have lived this entire time since World War II. Not just Cap, not just Winter Soldier, but other characters. Like, who else is in there? Maybe Nick Fury? I don't know.
Yeah.
We talked about it. I don't know what's going to happen. But
yeah, I mean, in general, I liked it. Now I'm into the show. Now I'm gonna keep up with it.
Let's see if they keep it up. Let's see if they can keep it up. Let's see if they can keep it up.
The momentum going, I'll definitely stick around. The only couple things that I was questioning in the whole episode was the part at the end where Ming-Na's character takes off on the bike.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a second. You're in a militarized area. Yeah. Shouldn't you get into the Queen jet and go with them?
Did she get away? I was a little lost in that too, and I like, So whatever.
So what other things? It was pretty minor. Surprisingly, it was pretty minor with how many things I was kind of like, I'm not really.
Again,
into
I
this.
think it benefited that. Going into it, I think we all kind of had low expectations, lowered expectations.
And mine were probably even lower than yours.
Sure, because I saw the first season, and but I think that it's pretty clear that the show has a direction. Yeah. Like it's gonna go somewhere.
So important.
It's so important, even if it's like that artifact and it's like a MacGuffin and it's a weapon. Yeah. It's got a direction, and it's gonna tie into. To keep the momentum going, Agent Carter. Right. She's going to come in as the season replacement, and we're going to see that backstory. So I think it's much improved. So I think that the question now is, can they keep up that momentum?
I hope
We'll find out. We're going to tune in every week and watch, and we'll let you guys know.
What would you rate it out of 10? That's what we normally do. We
1 out of 10. I'm going to give it. I'm going to give it like a solid 7 or 8.
Okay,
it's up there. And I would rate the entire first season like a 5 out of 10. Watchable, but still technically failing. Like I said, it's not essential. Mm-hmm. It's completely optional. It was still watchable, and I had a good time, and I'm a Marvel guy. But it was not a TV show that I recommend to somebody that watches TV just for it to be TV. Does that make sense? Right. People that like Breaking Bad and True Detective. I'm not going to be like, oh, you got to check out Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That shit is dope. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to be like, oh, do you watch Arrow? Watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. instead. I'll say that. Mm-hmm. For the people that watch a sort of genre television. And, I'm like, you watch Game of Thrones? Fine, keep watching. You're probably not going to like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But if you're geeky, maybe get, if you like the Marvel movies. But season 2 so far, I'm like, dude, I would watch it.
Yeah, I'm in. I would probably give it like a 7.5. Mm-hmm. 7.5. I think would be fair for that, especially going into such low expectations.
Yes.
But
nice.
Is that pretty much everything?
That's it, man.
Cool.
That's pretty much everything.
Let us know also what you guys thought of the season premiere. I know there's a lot of people had so many different expectations. We'd love to hear what you guys thought about it. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree?
What's so funny is that I feel like the majority of people that watched Gotham liked it, and we were like, it wasn't that good. Like it could have been so much better. Kind of like the polar opposites of everyone else. And I feel like I don't know how many people watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't think that the numbers were stellar. But I feel like the majority of people that probably watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are probably like, man, it's dumb. It's not good. It's like, it's actually good, man. Yeah. It's improved. It's good. It's not quite there yet, but
it's getting there.
It's
definitely an improvement from last season.
They're making improvements. So so tell us about it.
Yeah, for sure. And also, if you want to catch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it's of course on ABC Tuesdays at 9 p.m.
Is that the time? 9 p.m. It's not at 8 p.m.
Oh God.
9 p.m.
Oh God.
8 p.m., 9 p.m. Central? I don't know. It's on that Tuesday night.
Tuesday night.
There's a 2-hour block in which it is.
Tuesday nights on ABC. You
just
should
check
know.
your listing.
Why do we got to tell you everything?
And also, if you have any questions, if you're watching the show and something real geeky happens, or you think there's a reference or something, and you have questions where you we can explain stuff.
Yeah, you guys can email us at thefilmpundits@gmail.com, or you can hit up Hector.
You can hit me up on Twitter.
You're Hector.
You can hit up Hector on Twitter. What accent is that? What is that? IKEA accent?
All I know is I'm failing.
That's all right, man. You can hit me up on Twitter at Hector is Funny. Ask me questions. If you see the show and you're like, what's this Glenn Talbot about? What's he all about? Or if you're like, Absorbing Man, that sounds cool. Tell me about it. I'll tell you about it. And you're welcome.
Don't ask me because I'm not so familiar with Marvel. Hector is definitely the resident Marvel expert.
I'm the guy.
I'm more DC.
That's all right. That's cool,
man.
That's
okay, but that's why
we'll ask you questions about Gotham. We'll ask you questions about Gotham.
That's why this dynamic is so perfect.
Yeah.
But if you guys want to ask me any questions, you can find me on Twitter at Adam Havoc. And also, be sure you guys subscribe to our channel, youtube.com/thefilmpundits. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Yeah, man.
All under The Film Pundits.
Thank you so much.
And come back next week. Let's talk more Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Let's see how the show progresses.
Let's
give it a chance. Let's let it have its momentum.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Is that the theme song?
I don't know.
We're talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's be cool if that was the theme song.
We're getting out of here.
All right, bye. Sorry.